Time now for more Area Scene. Let's return to the KIRX newsroom and John McConnell.
Good morning. Welcome to Area Scene. We're going to talk a little sports stuff this morning. Boy, I'm going to love this. This is going to be a fun show. I have with me some guys that are with the Orange and Black Foundation. And you say, what is that? We'll let them tell you. Rick Gooch is the president, Mike Militich, and Shane Weber. Guys, good morning.
Good morning. Morning.
Kind of feel like this we should be talking football or wrestling or basketball or whatever, but we're talking the Orange and Black Foundation. We're going to do some really neat stuff at Spainhour Field. Rick, as president of this group, or what got this started? What was the reason you guys got together to do this project? And then we'll talk about what the project is.
Well, there was a couple things that came to mind. The first is, we'd like to honor the history of Kirksville football, and in recent times, there's not been anybody keeping the history and promoting the history and keeping it alive, and so we wanted to have a place that we could honor some of the history and the past legends of the game. Kirksville football started in 1900. And a lot of that early history's kind of been lost and maybe is stuck in somebody's closet or in somebody's mind way back, and nobody's putting that all together and saving it and promoting it to the younger kids and to keep the tradition going. That was part of it.
Yeah.
And then two, we had the idea that we'd like to improve the facilities out there at Spainhour Field, and so our idea was the first project was to start with the entryway to Spainhour Field. So our first project is to build a brick and granite wall entryway with a new gate and ticket booth and everything, which will allow us to have a space to put some of the tradition, previous head coaches, maybe previous captains, teams that did well either on the conference level or state level, and incorporate that into the wall.
Yeah, the artist drawings here are really, really cool, and I can remember, well, let's see, I started covering Kirksville sports in 1968, and I think we got to Spainhour Field. In 68, it was just a field. It wasn't football. The Tigers played their home games at Stoke Stadium at the time. And, 71, I think, or was the first year when they played at Spainhour Field. And I know there's a move underway now that we'll have new bleachers there.
Yes.
Those are the same bleachers, I think, that were there in 71. I know we got a new scoreboard just 2 or 3 years ago. Of course, we've had that nice track down there. And there have been some minor improvements and facelifting here and there and fresh coat of paint every year. But this is a major improvement, and I think this is just going to be awesome. Of course, and if you're new to the community and don't know Spainhour Field, that's named after John Spainhour, who of course was the football coach in Kirksville High history and a longtime athletic director. And John was typical football guy. I mean, he lived, died, his whole life he was football. And a lot of kids played for him, and a lot of kids learned a lot from John. And Thelma, his wife, is still around. She's a big Tiger fan. But I think this idea is great. I think it's a long time coming, and looking forward to it at actual. So what kind of timetable are you on? Let me turn to you on that, Mike. Are we going to start tomorrow? We'd like to.
Yeah, we would. That's a good question. We're in the process of putting some final touches on estimates on what the cost might be, and so we're hoping for to break ground probably next spring sometime. But that's a little bit contingent upon what happens at the high school with the bleacher project and how that all goes through.
Right.
So we don't want to be in there trying to do our thing while they're doing their thing. So we're looking hopefully by the beginning of the 13 football season we should have this done.
Good. Now that'd be great. So your cost, Shane, jump in here on this one. How's this going to be paid for?
Well, hopefully, when we fully launch and get underway, hopefully it'll spread by the media exposure that we have, and
I mean, are you going to be looking for donations, or are you going to?
We're going to do this.
Sell bricks or something?
Well, yes. Yes, actually,
okay.
we are going to sell the bricks, bleachers, columns, however folks want to memorialize maybe themselves, their parents.
Sure.
And then parents and grandparents doing the same for their children, and literally a place to put yourself in granite. And I think that's...
well, not only yourself, but the tradition of Kirksville Tiger football.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you were to ask anybody about the rich tradition of Kirksville Tiger football, well, and I mean, it's not like we win a conference championship every year and have it, win 10 or 12 games and go to the postseason every year. It's not that kind of rich tradition, and very, very few high schools have that. But I think the longevity and the success that they've had in producing outstanding football players and outstanding young men, that's the tradition I think of when I think of Kirksville High football. Because every year, even if we win 4 or 5 games, we always have 2 or 3 individuals on that football team that go on to do big things away from football. And that's what high school sports is about to me. So I think the tradition of Kirksville Tiger football goes much deeper than just a one-loss record. Is that a fair statement, guys?
Well, I think it is. One of the things that the groundswell started with parents who had an interest in seeing this program do better.
Okay.
And what can we do to help the program do better, but also honor the history and bring that out of the closet so that the young players can see who some of these great players were. So
right.
We're not at the point where we're winning conference championships every year, but that's certainly one of the goals and objectives that we have penciled on the wall, is to what can we do to help these kids get better every day, and these teams get better every year, so we've got the same amount of pride community-wide and school-wide in the football program as we have maybe in the wrestling program or the girls basketball program.
Sure.
We want to elevate that as much as possible. So.
And this is a way to enhance it and to do just that.
Certainly.
I know you've been involved with the young kids, and you all have. Any successful program, I don't care if it's athletics, if it's choir, if it's band, anyone that really is successful and has that tradition, they don't start participating in that extracurricular event when they're freshmen. They start when they're in 4th grade, 5th grade, and have that mentality, if you would. I want to grow up and be a Kirksville Tiger. I want to grow up and be in the marching band. I want to grow up. When I grow up, I'm talking like a 4th and 5th grader. When I'm in high school, I want to be on that wrestling team. I want to play volleyball. I want to be a Kirksville Tiger football player, just like. And they can go over and look at the wall. Just like, this guy back here was an all-state player back in 1963 or something like that. And so it's a visible thing, and I think that's what you're talking about, Mike, and that's what's going to be there. That'll help enrich the program from the bottom up, and that's what you want.
Absolutely. We're trying to get, we're trying to get some of that history that's back out there that people haven't talked about for a long time. Some of the people that are even in town, like Red Solera.
Yeah.
And what a quality athlete he was, and not just football, but a lot of other sports. And there's a long list of those guys, but their accomplishments and contributions need to be remembered by a lot of folks.
Yeah, we have several goals, as the foundation, and it's more than just this one project. I mean, we hope that as the younger kids come through there, the kids that are in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, and they see the great athletes on the wall, that will give them some inspiration. Hey, someday I want to be on that wall.
Sure.
But, we want to have a way to raise funds for things like athletic scholarships for potentially players that played on the football team, scholarships for kids to go to summer camps, scholarships for coaches to take those kids to football camps, obviously equipment, anything that might be needed around Spainhauer Field. And so there's a lot of different goals of the Orange and Black Foundation. It's more than just this one project. This is the first project.
Okay.
But we hope that it will be an ongoing organization that will support, raise funds for the football program specifically.
Okay, so the Orange and Black Foundation isn't, when this is up and done, you guys aren't going to disappear.
No,
it's going to be an ongoing thing.
This is the first of many.
Who knows that, what Orange and Black Foundation will do after this? I mean, the sky's the limit.
There's a long list of possibilities.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, are things just kind of in the organizational stage now? I mean, if somebody wants to get involved in this financially, I mean, or otherwise, or I mean,
within the next month or two, there will be a full-on media campaign, press releases, pictures out there. We're in the process right now of putting together a group of people that will help us with the fundraising portion. Mike mentioned that we're putting the final touches on the financial part of what it's going to cost to do this, and then putting together the prices of the actual brick or the pillar or whatever, and so that we can, when we go out and talk to people about, hey, would you like to participate and donate and honor your father? These are your choices, and this is, kind of the donation amounts that we need. So within the next month or two, there'll be a lot of publicity out there regarding this and the opportunities.
Great. I was just looking at the architect's drawings, I assume, and that is really a classy looking. It's really first class. I mean, that makes you proud to be associated with Kirksville Tiger football, just looking at the pictures.
One of the really neat key features, which is in this picture here, is the tiger that sits out here, which will be after.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
it was empty there.
It's not in there, but there's going to be a round base with a nice big bronze tiger that'll be right after you come through the ticket booth. And Shane kind of had this vision. when you stand there, and you're walking through this wall, you look out there and you see the tiger, and it's all lined up so that you're looking at the tiger and the big K across the field and the scoreboard. And it's all lined up so that visual picture as you come through there will be pretty neat.
Well, you want to. A lot of it is when you go to someone else's stadium. You're in their house.
Right.
We want to make sure that we make a statement. Hey, you come in here. You're in our house.
Yeah.
And to set the tone, and also the tiger is kind of the crown jewel, which will be fairly impressive. And actually, what I think was an awesome idea, actually Pat Williams came up with it, and of course we're totally on board, but is to parade the ball players instead of coming down the hill. Let's actually bring those kids down by the tennis courts. We'll line parents up on both sides. They'll come by, brush the tiger, and then they'll go
down on the field. Yeah.
Bring the kids closer to the parents. Hey,
and the fans and everything. You betcha.
Get them pulled in, get them psyched up.
I like that idea too.
And actually, with the new bleacher setup, they'll actually then go right down through the lower section of those bleachers, onto the field.
Yeah, because it's my understanding the bleachers now stop. And there's that little hill there where all the little kids roll down. I know my grandkids did. Well, my kids did it too. And they're going to extend those bleachers down almost to the track. They may have to change the pits for the long jump and triple jump to do that. And then it's my understanding the band will be down closer to the track so they can interact with the cheerleaders, and it's just going to be
one
really
of the neat
great.
things about this project was, we were kind of working on this idea of this wall and everything, and when went over and talked to the administration at the school, they said, well, we're in the process of getting bids and working on replacement of the bleachers, and both groups I don't think had any idea.
Is that right?
So the timing is great.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, new bleachers. There's discussion about improvement of the football field surface itself, whether that be turf or natural grass.
And
then the entryway. You combine those three projects, there's going to be quite an improvement to the appearance and the facility out there.
Well, and of course, I think one of you touched on it, the atmosphere. You get that atmosphere and tradition, and it's something visible. And, it makes you proud to be a Tiger football player or a Tiger football fan, and that trickles down to these kids in the 4th and 5th grade or whatever that are playing kids football. I know you coached volunteer coaches, kids in the 4th and 5th grade or 5th and 6th grade, whatever it is. And that's where you build programs, by getting the kids involved. and interested in, boy, I'd sure like to play in a football field like that with that fancy entrance and go by and touch that tiger all the time. I mean,
you bet. I think what you're touching on is we're trying to pull a community together at the stadium, make it a nice social event, nice, clean.
Have fun.
Something you can look down and meet people and recognize people that's been there.
Not just make Friday nights a home football game, but make it an event.
Make it a place to be.
You betcha. If you're not there, something's wrong with you.
Sure.
Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate you being with us this morning. And folks, when you hear somebody talking about the Orange and Black Foundation, you know what it's all about now. It's about some fans and some folks and some people in Kirksville trying to make improvements and a little higher visibility of Kirksville, not only the community of Kirksville and the school of Kirksville, but Kirksville athletic programs. We'll hear more from you guys later, I'm sure. Okay, guys, thanks again. Mike Militich, Rick Gooch, and Shane Weber of the Orange and Black Foundation been my guests this morning. That'll take care of very soon. Thank you very much for listening to 1450 KIRX.
Thank you.